Good evening, everyone. You awake out there? Right. I can't see that well. Are there people here?
Yes.
All right. No, thank you very much for coming out here. I really appreciate it. It really warms my heart when I see our fellow countrymen, neighbors, and people from my district who will come out on a night like this in the evening, when take time out of their busy schedule, because you all know intuitively that there's something terribly wrong with our government and what's going on around us, and you want answers, and you want to make changes. And that's why I'm here. My name is Anthony Mele. That's spelled M-E-L-E. I'm born, bred, and raised in the Bronx, New York. I was born right here in Fordham Hospital. I went to school in Casita Maria and Southern Boulevard. I went to Tuscanini Junior High School in Teller Avenue, and Tabb High School on 170th Street. I then joined the United States Army, and I served 6.5 years in the Army. I served in the Presidential Honor Guard, where I took my oath of service over the tomb of the unknown soldiers. And I realized up to this day that that oath did not come with an expiration date. And that oath said that I should preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And I intend to continue to do that as your congressman. Now, I then was selected to get involved in the attaché system, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, as a military diplomat. And I was trained in all the nuances of drug trafficking and the threats that come to us from Latin America. And then the Army, in its wisdom, after almost a year of training and heavy training and a lot of money, and their wisdom, sent me to Saudi Arabia. That's on the other side of the world. And then I served there with the military training missions of Saudi Arabia. I learned Arabic. I learned about the Arab culture. I learned about Islam. And then I became trained in the areas of terrorism and counterterrorism. I worked for the Defense Intelligence Agency. I worked for the Intelligence Security Command. And then I was shipped over to the Office of the Assistant Chief of Staff Intelligence at the Pentagon, where on 9/11 a plane landed where my desk used to be, killing my protege and my replacement that day. I then left the service to work in the same area of global security. I started a global security business as a consultant. I'm the only candidate in this race who is a businessman, a business owner, and has created jobs and know what it takes to create jobs, and knows what it takes to continue to thrive in business. And Senator candidate Jay Townsend explained some of that. And a lot of that has to do with the free market system and competition. I was raised by my grandmother, my grandparents, and I learned the values from her. I look around this room and I see much of her in this room. Matter of fact, in this cafeteria, because I remember she was a cafeteria lady. She used to wear the big hairnet. And I was just a kid. I was like, how do you know that hair in there? But she was one of those things. She taught me those values. She taught me the values that no matter how poor you are, it doesn't make you a thief. That you work honorably and earn your keep. And if you can help your neighbor, you'll help your neighbor. She taught me the lesson of the widow's mite. And the lesson of the widow's mite, the Bible says that when the time for tithing came, the rich men came and they threw their tenth of all their wealth into the pot, became a widow. And she had one mite, or one penny, and she tossed that in. And then Jesus told him, you see that woman there? She gave more than all of those rich men, because of out of their abundance they gave some. And out of her poverty, she gave it all. And so these are the lessons that I've learned during my formative years. And when I traveled the world, working as a global security consultant, and during my education, earning a master's degree in diplomacy and international conflict management, a bachelor's degree in international relations and counterterrorism, I was called upon to solve problems around the world in places like West Africa, Angola, Zaire, the Congo, places where it's war-torn and inter-tribal and inter-civil wars. And I live in places that are unfree, where women are oppressed, where their poverty is brutal poverty. And I learned and come to appreciate the United States of America so much that every time I came from one of those unfree nations, I fall in love with America every time. And now, as a crisis manager, as an expert in crisis management, I find the United States of America is facing crisis. I think that the United States of America is on a perilous course. And so I again think that I'm going to serve my country. And I'm called to do so. And my neighbors thought so. So they nominated me out of my committee and took me out of the private sector, where I was working in a very thriving business. I'm a single man. I have no children. I don't have a wife. I'm a single guy. I like girls. I like my freedom. I like traveling around. But now I find that I have to put all of that aside to try and help us out. And so I want to use all the training and all the preparation that I've developed in the course of my career to serve my country again, to serve my district. And what I do find is that my district is fraught with the problem of jobs and lack of jobs. Now, as I look around this room, I believe that you don't want someone to come up here and just give you speeches and bragging about what they've done and what they can do and how much they played the role of Santa Claus and give you things back. I think you want to know, in an interaction, in an interactive conversation, intellectually, what can be done to solve the problems that we have. So I came not only to speak to you, but I came also to meet and learn. So just by a show of hands, how many people out there, just by a show of hands, how many people out there know someone who needs a job or lost a job? Show me your hands. That's why I need to be your congressman. I'm the only candidate in this race who has ever created a job and has a plan how to create jobs. And I'll be glad to share that with you when you ask me the questions. Thank you very much.